how important it is to get that calm, even though the aggression is good in this sport because it's very fast sport. Uh, Everything happens in within seconds. So I do understand the aggression will be there, but how important it is to keep calm, and what are the practices the players follow, like yoga or the breathing exercises, like what all they do?
So, as I said, it's a very aggressive sport, and you have different characters in the team. Like if you see your hand, all these five fingers are not the same. So you have some
True.
guys who are very aggressive, some guys are very calm, and that's what makes a team a wonderful thing. That's what team sport is all about. Different characters coming together to play and achieve that one goal. The techniques which we used for keeping the players calm were like meditation and yoga. We had, luckily, for the last 2 seasons, we had Shraddha, who's a part of the Puneri Paltan, who came and conducted some brilliant yoga sessions for us. Some of those yoga sessions were conducted on the beaches of Goa. So you are doing a yoga session. Here is the wind and the sea waves. There's nothing better than that. And early morning, it was just a fabulous setup to do those. She has been helping us for the last 2 seasons now. It's just great to have her on the team, because before that we had different people, but that yoga was not very specific. We very specific towards kabaddi players. What we are doing right now is helping the players a lot in terms of flexibility, mobility, and the breathing techniques which she has been inculcating in the players is help them to remain calm and composed during a very difficult situation on the court. Like it's the last few seconds, you need to know, are you going to raid, you going to hold back, or you going to defend. So those decisions are taken best when you have your breathing in control. If you're gasping for air, you will not be able to think properly. That's why meditation and breathing practices and yoga help a lot.
We all know how important the physical training in kabaddi is, but how important do you think this meditation training and yoga training is?
I think it's very important that the role yoga has to add to kabaddi. People, some people will differ on this. Some people will agree on this. There will be always different schools of thoughts. But for me, from my side, from Puneri Paltan, I think yoga has played a vital role for us. A lot of times there were situations in the tournament where we were in the last dying stages, and we have taken some wrong decisions because we could not keep our composed. And that's where yoga has come into and helped us. It's helped us to remain calm. We are able to think a little bit more straight now, because previously there was a lot of commotion going on because everybody's so hyper on that kabaddi match at times, because everybody wants to win and wants to contribute towards the team, but they don't realize that if they are all contributing at the same time, different thoughts come, and it's very confusing at times. That's where yoga has helped us to understand that how to keep your composure, how to keep your breathing in control, and not let your emotions flow, but be in control of your emotions. Because I think on the mat, physically everybody is on par. The person who is able to be more composed, who can control the emotions, and who can keep the mind very stable, is the one who's going to come out as a champion at the end of it.
Apart from the training camps and the Pro Kabaddi League season, they are on their own. So during this time, are they associated with you? Do you assign some tasks? Do you assign some workout to them?
So we have given them a off-season routine plan to follow. Sometimes, or I would say most times, it doesn't get followed for some reason or the other, because there are a lot of practicality issues along with it. Like during the first year, I realized the first 2 seasons, the the sheets I had given them to fill and the exercise routines I had given them to fill was impossible to do. Even if they wanted to do, they couldn't, because they don't have access to the kind of gym equipment or simply to access to a gym. So then that's where this system, we came up with a system where, okay, you can work out without equipment. If you have equipment, then you do this. If you don't have equipment, you will do this. And there are a lot of outdoor training activities which are given, and we all made sure that these protocols were followed to a certain extent. At the end of the day, you can't force somebody to do anything because the nutrition guidelines you give is very difficult to follow if you're living in a state where, say, the North Indian guys are so used to eating ghee and laddus and badam ka doodh and all. It's very difficult to tell them and to make them understand ki boss, this is not good. There are better options than this. But ghar pe, till you don't drink that 1 liter of milk, it doesn't satisfy them. So there were different issues and different ways of getting around it, which we finally have somewhat managed to manage. Yeah, but yeah, it's a never-ending process.
What happens when they get back from their, or let's not call it off season, from the non-pro Kabaddi League season, when they get back to you after drinking milk and after having that ghee? What is it like? Like, you go back to zero position and like, okay, chalo, shuru kar dete.
No, it doesn't go to a zero position. It is not so bad. It is from, say, if they're at, say, 80-90% and they go back home and they eat all these things and they train the way they want, they come back with 50, at least 60% they come back. The most worrying part is the nutrition part. Training part, they if you tell them to run, they'll run. If you tell them to lift weights, they're happy to do that. But if you tell them don't eat this, that's the biggest challenge you will face. And that's the biggest challenge we have been facing throughout the 5 seasons. Because when we enforce certain rules on regulations on eating, oh man, you should see the kind of difficulties we had. It was unreal. And when my first season I saw them eat and go through the food, I was a little shocked. I said, a professional player can't be eating like this. You need to be like supreme athletes. You're the Ferraris, yeah. You can't work and have fuel like a Fiat. You need to work like a Ferrari. You have to think like a Ferrari.
Definitely get back to the dieting part of Kabaddi players. But quickly, you are the professional. I just want to quickly ask you, what is the difference between conditioning training and the strength training?
So basically, strength is when you work with just pure strength. If you are lifting a certain weight from one point to the other, it's just shifting weight is under strength. Conditioning, it means is you're conditioning your whole body. You're working on your cardiovascular conditioning. It works your strength. It covers basically the whole system of training. That's what strength and conditioning means. A lot of people have this confusion that I will do strength training, but if you ignore the conditioning part of it, the cardiovascular conditioning part of it, then you're not going anywhere in terms of your fitness. You need to look at the entire picture in terms of training. If you look only at strength, it doesn't help. You need to be flexible. You need to have speed. You need to have explosive power. You need to have different kind of agility to your programs, so that you are able to function in the most supreme way in playing your sport.
I guess it's very important to keep the balance between both the training part, if we see. But how difficult it is to keep the balance between the training, and how Puneri Paltan players are keeping the balance of strength training and conditioning training.
So when we did our fitness training camp in the first 1 month of the training camp, we always made sure there were separate sessions for strength and separate sessions for their conditioning. So we had a lot of sprint work done, because the sport requires a lot of sprint, and agility, which is change of direction. Agility means a change of direction. So a lot of strength, speed, and change of direction is what we focus on. A lot of sessions where focus on making sure that they don't do long distance running. So this is an example I'll tell you. Nitin Tomar came up to me at the end of the 1 month camp. We had a 7 kilometer test, and during the whole month we did not do more than like maybe maximum we did a 3 kilometer run just to keep a kind of aerobic capacity. Whole month no long distance running, and kept on doing sprints, speed work, and at the last day of the camp, the last week, I remember I gave them a 7 kilometer time trial, and they're supposed to run a 7 kilometer on the Goa beach we were running, and they're supposed to run a minimum time. And Nitin Tomar came back in no time, and the first thing he came and said to me that sir, we did not run at all long distance in the entire camp, but this is my best I'm feeling right now. This is the fastest I've ever run. I did not tire at all. So it goes to show that if you do a specific kind of training which is going to help you in your sport, it just changes your concept of training, that you don't need to run you don't need to run long distance all through the day and spend hours doing it. But you can do short, intense 20-minute workouts, 30-minute workouts, and that will make you much more fitter and stronger.
I guess that's where the players get ready, and players get ready for the season in the camps. But what happens when the season starts? What is the routine like when they go for the first match? What happens before that? Like if you could give us the side.
First match is always butterflies in the stomach for every single player, every single team management. It's the start of the season. A lot of times there is pressure. I would not deny it. There is pressure. The coach is under pressure. The management is under pressure. The players are under pressure because it's the first game. And as the first game gets over, you slowly tend to relax. It always happens. But the routine, like for the first game or every single game, remains the same. Throughout the whole training process, throughout the training camps, we always emphasize on getting ready, like how you get ready for a match. So if you are in that kind of frame right from the very beginning, then it's easier to get into the game situation. If you have practiced enough in a certain particular way, then it's easier to transition into a game phase. It's very easy. Like before a game, it's always told that use less technology, less cell phones, less mobiles, keep them sleep, get 8 hours of good sleep, have a good nutrition, have a balanced diet, do not have too much of sugar, it will not let you sleep, it will be on a high and make you crash, no caffeine, no alcohol. So basic rules, those rules don't change. Early in the morning before the game, we have a small training session, then get into the evening, into the game.
But players, do they exercise on the match day or before the match or early in the morning?
Yes.
Like what is exercise routine?
So the exercise or the training pattern is basically on a match day is like we get up, we have a breakfast. We don't force the players to get up early. Get up at a very reasonable time. Have breakfast. Once the breakfast is settled, once you're settled down, we have a small training session. The training session is basically focused on getting more mobility, opening up those joints, opening up your body, getting more flexible, and that's in terms of training. And then it comes to the game of kabaddi. The coaches have been making players go through certain routines and certain kind of tactics or skills, you can say, which will be used in the game, or the ideas that are going to be enforced during the game. And we very small session, no contact, as light as possible, just to get the body moving. So at least your mind is into the zone of playing the sport. And then you come back, have a quick lunch, you have a good sleep in the afternoon. That's what we always encourage, have a good sleep. Get ready, post that team meeting, and the bus takes off for the station.
Exactly. So there is nothing. Nothing happens after the game. Like post match, isn't something that specific happens as fitness wise, like yoga or something like just to calm down, where you sit, relax in a way, something like that, something that sort of.
So the meditation parts happens in the morning session before the match, where after the practice we do ask players to sit and meditate, where it's been very helpful throughout the training camps, where we have included meditation and yoga practices. Post the matches, usually it's more like a recovery kind of a session where we ask the players to have a ice bath, finish the cool down, and have ice bath and finish the cool down session. Come back. If anybody has any minor injuries, the doctor, the physio starts working on it. Have a good meal and just sleep it off. I think everybody requires that sleep and that 8 hours of good sleep to recover from a tough match. So that's the practice.
So when you talk about sleep, how important it is to take rest after the match or after the tough day? How important it is to heal?
Sleep plays a very vital role. People don't understand the importance of sleep at many a times. People think, oh, I need to train, मेरे को training करना है, मेरे को workout करना है. But the most important factor is sleep, because when you're playing, you're working out, your muscles are getting used. When their muscles are getting used, there are small microfiber tears which happen in your body at all times. Even if you work out, there are microfiber tears. Those microfiber tears heal, and that's how muscle is built. When you're playing, your muscle is tired and fatigued. There's a lot of lactic acid in your body. That lactic acid slowly starts getting washed off from your system over a period of time. If you do ice bath, it helps you to recover faster. If you have a sports massage, it helps you to recover faster and drain off faster. But the biggest thing is, if you have good 8 hours of good sleep. I am not saying 8 hours. Even if you say good 6 to 8, anywhere between 6 to 8 hours. The most important factor in the sleep is the deep sleep. If you have a good sleep, the body repairs itself. The body repairs itself only when you're sleeping. So it's very important that you give that body that kind of rest and that time to recover from the physical aspects and the mental aspects of the game.
Rest plays very important, vital role, and sleep is very important part of any human being, and one should follow the sleep routine. But when we talk about the Pro Kabaddi League, when we look at it, the competition is very hard. When you see players right now, they have a lot of skills, they have good concentration. The competition is very tough. How important it is for Puneri Paltan player to keep themselves fit and keep themselves very calm during the season.
So, if you when you play a tournament like the Pro Kabaddi League, most players are fit. When you come to the tournament level, like most players are in that 90 percentile mark. It's very few are actually the physical aspects are just but when it comes to the mental aspect, that's where a player is differentiated. A very calm and composed. The best example is our current coach, Anup Kumar. He's so calm, and that's the reason why he was so successful. Mahendra Singh Dhoni is a very cool-headed person. That's why he's more successful. If you are calm and composed, and if you can control your body and your emotions, you can take better decisions. You can take much more better decisions. I'm not saying somebody who is very aggressive cannot take good decisions, but a calmer person will be in a better composed state of mind to deal with a certain situation in a better way.